The EPCHS. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at the EPCHS.com.
You know, whenever you're away, you're out of town for a while, you pull back into the EP, it always feels good to be home. Welcome into the EP podcast. My name is Chris. I've been gone for the last 5 days, not in town. I was at Bourbon and Beyond in Louisville, Kentucky, watching some amazing acts with my two older children. Also did a college tour or two for the high school senior. Highlights: Nathaniel Rateliff in the Night Sweats, incredible. Noah Khan was amazing. My 17-year-old son thinks Collective Soul stole the show on opening night on Thursday of that festival over the Lumineers. I don't know if that's true. We shot so much video for a brand new podcast coming out on the network in the next couple of months. We're putting it together now, called Chris Gets Around. It's kind of a travel restaurant review type show, still putting it together. So you'll get to see a little bit of that in the coming months. I led with that story, though, because I wanted to explain why my voice is so weak. The good news is the majority of this show was recorded before I left town. And it's all brought to you by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. With their Total Access checking account, you get free ATMs nationwide and a $300 bonus with qualifying activities. That means when I'm in Louisville and I need to use an ATM, I don't need to search. I can use any one I want. And then, after the fee is taken out by the person running the ATM, the First National Bank of Evergreen Park puts the fee back in for me, making the ATM free. Great mobile banking tools, award-winning customer service. Switch to a true community bank today. It has never been easier. The First National Bank of Evergreen Park at the corner of 95th and Pulaski, member FDIC. Amy Kazin is going to be talking about this year's Fan Fest coming up at Evergreen Park High School in just a moment. In studio with me right now, Dr. Jenna Moller, the principal of Central Middle School. You've been on before. Welcome back.
Hi, everyone. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So it's been a couple of years now that you've been over there, correct?
Yep. I'm going into year 2 as principal, and then this is my 3rd year at the building. I was there for 1 year as an AP. Okay.
So we just asked Coach Ram of Evergreen Park High School this on the last coaches show right before the weekend hit. So I'll ask you the same question. After being there for a few years, people get used to your system. He kind of talked about that like his team is more his team and they've been around him a couple years. Is it like that for a principal too?
Absolutely. It feels really good going into year 2, starting off really strong. Teachers know our system. Students know our expectations. Families are used to our communication. And I feel like you're able to go in. I'm going in feeling more confident. And then also the building this year I've really noticed feels different in a good way. It feels lighter. It feels like everyone's on the same page and it feels really good. Even like at the end, Friday. So like, let's think of last week. You would think that like after a full week of teaching, we're getting back into the swing of things, that like teachers would be really exhausted and like ready for the weekend, really like ready to sleep, whatever it is. But you still see them at 3:25 saying bye to the students, smiling, giggling at each other. And to me, that just says a lot about the culture and climate that we have at Central.
I mentioned that to Dr. Jenna Woodland, the superintendent, when she was in here last time, that I had driven down 95th Street and I saw like a gaggle of teachers just all smiling, walking around. They were doing something, but they were all like in a group. And I was like, that's kind of a happy bunch. I mean, yep. It may sound trivial to people listening, but that's important, right? Like if you have happy employees and teachers that enjoy teaching, that has to rub off on the kids, right?
100%, especially when we look at like educational research. One of the main contributors to how much students learn is teacher quality and teacher capacity. And so if we want teachers to be the best teachers they can be and like really give high quality tier 1 instruction, we do need to make sure we're meeting their social emotional needs too. And so I have seen a change just in staff, just like their camaraderie, their collaboration, and all of that then has a positive impact on the kids.
Because you got to think that a teacher got into it because they wanted to do something positive, right? Like I always thought, as I got older, I thought that way. Like when I was younger, my teachers were all evil in my mind,
Yeah.
right? They were all terrible. I went to a school that had nuns still teaching. They scared the bejesus out of me, right? And then I had teachers that I shudder when I think of them. They scared me, right? And as I get older, I realize when they got into it, they had every intention of just being happy and hanging with kids. Like they made a conscious choice to be around children. And it's important to not let them get, jaded or to feel overwhelmed, because that changes everything, doesn't it?
Correct. And what really makes the difference at Central is just that teachers feel supported by administration, both at the building level and at the district level. And so I think a core part of that is just being really responsive to teachers by soliciting feedback, being present in the hallways, and really just listening, like asking teachers, how's it going? How are the first couple of weeks going? What are you noticing? And really taking their feedback and then modifying accordingly.
All right, so you've got your happy teachers.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. And they kind of have to be happy when they're in that building. We've talked about it a few times now with the superintendent. There seems to have been a determination that a new building is needed over there. And so you're the principal of that school.
Yep.
You probably heard me talk about it on the podcast. I brought it up when I was part of the task force or whatever it was of community people that went in there blind, not even knowing what we were looking at.
Right.
And I thought to myself, wow, I mean, there be conflict every day with the doors opening into the hallways and the really thin ways that you have to move around. And I think that there's actually a section of the school where the only way you get to those classrooms is to walk through somebody else's classroom, which is insane. So first, what do you feel about the new building? And second, how are you dealing with it now here, year two? You've learned about this building and its obvious shortcomings. How do you deal with those until you get a new building?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'll talk about the first part first. So I have been manifesting a new building as well. I think that the kids and the teachers really deserve it. And it's even things that you don't really think about. So we have AC units, and if it's really hot, so if we have a 90-degree day and the AC is on, if you're in a classroom and kids are talking to each other, as I'm walking around trying to listen in to the conversations, it's so hard to hear. So if I'm in the back of the room and the teacher's in the front of the room, I actually can't hear the instruction at all if the AC is on. And then if you turn the AC off, then it gets really hot and now everyone is sweating.
And they don't want to learn then because they're dying of heat.
Correct.
So there's no solution is the unfortunate thing. Yeah.
Right. So it's even little things like that you wouldn't really think about. And then in the hallways, when you have kids at their lockers trying to get stuff and get ready for the day, but you have the doors open because we do have teachers greeting all the kids. So the doors are always open during passing period. And then there are what we call hot spots. So as kids come down one stairwell and you have to go on the main floor, but then also go down to the gym hallway. So it creates then traffic jams because you have 3 flows of traffic meeting in one area. And so it's not ideal. However, we are in the building, so we do have to be responsive to kind of those things. So one of our current hotspots is, and if you've been to Central, you'll know, is right by the band room. So we have a stairwell that's going down, and we have students that are coming down there from the second floor, going to the basement. But we also have kids that are coming from the library and going to the gym.
I remember this from the tour and sitting there going, this looks like an impossible thing. I mean, think of the stress that's put on the kids just trying to get to class. That's insane.
Yeah. And so this year we now have, 6th grade PE, we've rerouted them. So instead of going in that hallway, they go to the basement and then go up a different stairwell. So we're making adjustments, but as you just heard, then we're sending PE on a detour essentially to go down to the basement to come back up.
Which is kind of a dungeon.
Yes, to avoid the traffic
jam. Your
jam.
Basement's a dungeon.
Yeah.
There's a smell.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It really is
no
unfortunate.
Light.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I have such a hard time on this show, with this subject matter because I think you're doing a great job over there. And I actually when I went and learned about the school and what you guys were doing just to deal with the problems in the building, it was impressive to me. You're doing everything you can and they're getting a good quality education. But on the other hand, it's I want to continuously point out it shouldn't be this hard for you, So then I'm and the smell, and it's this thing where I don't want to be oh, well, CMS is a terrible school. It's not, because you have really good teachers. You're doing the best you can with your facilities, but this is why you're manifesting a new building, because it's a problem on a day-to-day basis you have to tackle.
Right. We need bigger hallways, bigger stairwells, central air, you know what I mean? It's really bare minimum stuff to just make sure that kids are able to access the best quality education they can.
Yeah. Any new initiatives this year or things that you started last year that you're excited are kind of coming together?
Yeah. Well, there are two things I really want to hit on. So starting at the end of my first year as assistant principal, when I knew I was transitioning to principal, we started this whole school improvement planning process, which was really important to me just because I'm very goal oriented. And I feel if we all want to, one, ensure that students are learning and growing and also feeling safe at school, we have to have clear goals and clear action items. And so we have our school improvement team, which is made up of staff members, so teachers, but also social workers and anyone else who wants to join, and administration. And we do a deep dive every year and look at all the data. So we look at where we currently are with our academics, our behavior, our attendance, our culture and climate as reported by both staff and students. And then as a group, we make SMART goals, essentially. So goals that are data-driven, have an end, and then we also articulate clear action items. And so all of the work that we do in all of our different committees are geared towards reaching our goals. And so we did see a lot of progress last year in our building because it's not like throwing whatever the expression is, spaghetti on the wall. It's like everything is really working together to be able to make CMS the best place it can be. So I'm really excited about that. And then the other thing that we're being really intentional about is just celebrating students and reinforcing positive behavior. Middle school is a challenging time for any kid, no matter what school you go to.
The most uncomfortable I ever was in middle school.
Correct. Yeah. And so we really want to make sure that we're finding ways that students can be happy and excited about middle school, just because with the hormones and the changes of friends, it can be really stressful for them. So we do a lot of really fun stuff for the kids. We have, at the end of the year, we do a student excellence breakfast where we invite parents, which is really nice. We do monthly out of the blue days. And again, that's based on like what we're seeing. So like if 6th grade is really struggling with having a charged Chromebook, then one random day of the month, we would an advisory. If your Chromebook is 90% or above, you get, ice cream at lunch. So we do random out of the blue days. We always share birthdays on the announcements. So in the announcements in the morning, we'll say happy birthday to everyone who has a birthday. All the teachers and administration welcome students at the door. So that starts from like once they arrive on campus at 8:30 to the end of the day. We're constantly in the hallways saying good morning, good afternoon, how's it going? We started a dean's list last year, which was really valuable. We have the high honor roll and the honor roll. For 8th grade, we do at the end of the year an 8th grade awards where we invite families in to celebrate the kids. We do these really fun quarterly incentive assemblies. So we have all of these games like tug of war, dodgeball. If you can think of like Hungry Hungry Hippos, the game you used to play as a kid, we do that, but like with real people.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. You got somebody holding somebody's feet and they're out there.
Yes. And they're holding like a laundry basket. And
I was joking. You're really doing it. That's crazy.
Oh, and they're on a scooter.
I want video
really
of that. Oh my goodness.
It's really fun. Okay. The kids laugh and they think that it's really, really fun. We do live school points. So kids, if they meet expectations, teachers give them points and then they can cash those points in at the live school store where they can get fidgets and pens. And the most popular is always the chips, the hot Cheetos. The kids love that. So they cash their points in for that. We have dances, and then we're also doing field trips. Even this week, the kids are going to the historical exhibit at the Historical Commission, the exhibit on Evergreen, to learn about the history of Evergreen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's really fun.
That's really nice. Yeah, I was curious what your take was on this, and if you're like, I don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole, go ahead and tell me it. But did you feel just a little bit of relief when you saw that the village did the thing with the bikes and the scooters? Because like I have a nephew who was showing me pictures over the weekend of one of his friends in Beverly who just hit a small pothole riding one of those scooters, went over it, and his arm was broken in 4 places with 4 different spots where the bone had come out.
That's
and like
so
he's going to be messed up forever. And you as a principal probably saw these things zipping around your school, and it kind of probably saved you from having to worry about it so much because now all of a sudden they have those new rules.
Yes, I do appreciate the new rules. Over the summer, I saw them coming out. Each town, I read about like them putting that into place. And I was like, I was wondering if Evergreen was going to do that. We didn't have many issues with the scooters last year, but I do think especially because when you do see kids on the scooters, they're often not wearing helmets. It can just be really scary to make sure that kids are safe. So absolutely, I'm so on board with that. And so far, we haven't had any issues with it. So.
All right. So now I would imagine you're in the good phase now. Like the initial opening of the school is over. It's fall time. You kind of have things moving along. Is this one of the, I don't want to say easier, but the most like take a breath, the year has started now, enjoy it kind of, is that what this time is now for you?
It's funny you say that because I catch myself always being like, wow, this is a really hard time of year because every year has its like, challenges. I would say the first few weeks of school are really ensuring that like everything is set up and communication is clear to both teachers and students. So like we just got through all of our expectation reboots and all of that. Now, though, we're transitioning into like the honeymoon period is over. So like we do see always typically like an uptick in behavior, kids kind of testing boundaries. And so that's what we're going to see now. And then also it's evaluation season with teachers. So really focusing on like high quality instruction.
So really not an easy time.
So
for
no,
you.
I mean, it feels good, but no, it's not an easy time. No.
It's hysterical. Well, it sounds like you have it all in hand. It sounds like you have a plan. You're a very organized person. I got that impression off of you the first time that you were down here. And it sounds like you're doing a very good job in a building that definitely needs to be replaced. I keep bringing it up whenever I have somebody from D124 here on the show because it was so obvious to me when I walked through there, and I think to everybody else that walked around it over the summer. And I know that you guys are giving tours and you want people to see the building because you want them to understand what we're talking about on this show and what you're telling members of the community. So people should reach out. I think to the superintendent says she's just gonna show anybody the building who wants to see it.
Yep.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
Have you seen any tours yet? Is she giving tours around the building?
Yeah, actually at the back to school bash, I think she did maybe like 20 or 25 tours.
That's awesome.
And she said she was able to convince some people that, yes, we need a new building. So I definitely think if you're on the fence, come to Central and check it out and you'll have your answer.
That's awesome. Dr. Jenna Moller, your principal over at CMS. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. It is now time for your EP podcast, Word on the Street, brought to you by Spoken Vine Wine Bar and Bottle Shop, northeast corner of 95th and Kazin. Get to SpokenVineWines.com and check out some of the wine tasting events happening this month. Limited seating still available Saturday, September the 20th and Sunday, September the 21st. If you go there and check out the list of wines you're going to be trying and the menu, the food that will be involved, what a great deal. See that at SpokenVineWines.com. Your Evergreen Park Mustang football team is now 3-0 after a victory this past Friday, 39-12 over Tinley Park. Head coach Jim Ramazinski will be on the special coaches show that we put out each and every Thursday right here on the EP podcast. And we're talking about homecoming week here in just moments. Meanwhile, the Evergreen Park Fire Department is having an open house September the 20th. That is coming up just a few days away. 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. this Saturday at the Firehouse, 9000 South Kedzie Avenue. All are welcome. The Evergreen Park Rec Department is having Irish dance taught by Mary McQuillan, Midwest champion dancer of Blackbird Academy, for ages 4 and up, starting Thursday, September the 18th, running all the way through November the 20th from 5:30 to 6:15 p.m. $100 for 10 weeks. Held at the Community Center. That's a deal for Irish dancing. 3450 West 97th Street. And the youth department is having their field trip to Delwood Park for a haunted hayride experience on Friday, October the 10th. $20 fee gives you the bus ride to and from the location with a 20-minute haunted hayride and bonfire. It goes from 5 to 10 p.m. on that date, October the 10th. Register at the youth department by Friday, September the 26th, open to grades 5 through 12. And the 11th annual Christmas Without Cancer 5K Run Walk will take place Saturday, September 20th at Klein Park. Opening ceremonies at 8:30 in the morning, followed by the 5K at 9 a.m. For more information, go to christmaswithoutcancer.org. Welcome into the new digs, Amy Kazin. How are you?
Good. Everything looks great.
Yeah, you digging the chair there? I'm not sure if I like it yet. Coach Ramazinski says it's very comfortable. We've had a few guests sit in the chair. I feel like I'm towering over the guest. I'm not sure if I want to add another panel to this table and stretch it this way, like out towards where you're at. So you do the interview. You tell me how you feel about it afterwards.
Feeling very comfy right now,
Okay.
so thank you.
The video's weird though. I got to put something down there. You can see my legs moving around.
Oh.
Like you can never see that now. And now the way it's a bar top table and not like solid in front, it looks really weird on the video. I'm adjusting. I think I'm still grieving the end of my 9-foot homemade oak bar. I honestly believe that.
That's fair. I'm liking the new digs so far.
Thank you very much. All right, so you're also over from the high school. Everybody should know that by now. You've been on the show so many times, and we've got homecoming coming up in a couple of weeks. And for the last couple of years, you've been doing Fan Fest, and you were telling me right before we sat down, this is how you envisioned it when you got it started, correct?
Yes, so this is something that we've been talking about since before COVID. Last year was the first year we kind of gave it a trial run, and this year we're super excited, really, really looking forward to the layout this time with 3 times as many activities as we had last year. In addition to being set up kind of street fair style along Jim Sexton Drive, we're going to open up the baseball field as well with a whole bunch of inflatables and yard games and beanbags and stuff. So it'll very much be kind of football tailgate meets street fair for the whole family.
It sounds very college campusy.
Yes.
Like that's what I mean. It really does. It sounds like, I mean, I'm going to go down to Illinois a couple times this fall. You're an Illini as well. Our team is really good. We were talking about that before we turned on the microphones.
Yep.
ILL.
I.
There you go. And I've got a few trips already planned because my daughter's down there and because I'm an alum. That sounds like something I would be doing down in Champaign. There's a lot going on before the game and an awful lot of tailgating. This sounds a lot of fun. I mean, like this. How long do you take to plan this?
We started re-looking at some things and revamping some plans after last year was really successful. We started looking at ways to improve it. Just finished what I think is the final layout for everything yesterday. I spoke with the administration and security and everything to make sure that we're set up just right. But it's going to be fun for the whole family. There's food vendors, there's activities, your typical pregame tailgate, your spirit station to make your posters and chalk in the walk and face paint and things like that, but also the inflatables and things like that for anybody in the whole family to participate.
I would imagine the band will be moving around there somewhere, right? I mean, like if you're going to do that kind of feel of a tailgate, I got to hear I got to hear like the cadences going on and like them busting out in the music every once in a while.
There will be music playing for sure during the whole thing. Band will be getting ready for the varsity game, so I'm sure you'll hear them come through at some point.
That's awesome. I mean, it sounds like so much fun, and as you said, it's fun for the whole family. You guys don't expect this, just like Coach Ram talks about it. The Mustangs are Evergreen Park's team. Whether or not you have a kid in the high school, okay, if you're from Evergreen Park, this is your local team, and this is for everybody in the community to come out to, and there's stuff for everyone, right?
Absolutely. That's the goal. We hope that people are going to pick up their kids after school and just come hang out, come have dinner with us, play some games, have some fun, and then hopefully stay for the game because we're hoping for a win.
Do you get to enjoy this, or is it one of those things where you're going to be running around like crazy, and at the end of it, you'll appreciate that it went well? Like you've been doing it a few years. I mean, you've been doing it a few years. So, I mean, on one hand, you could be like, okay, I kind of know how everything's going to go, but you keep expanding it and making it bigger. So I worry about you. I want you to enjoy it.
I will run around like crazy, but I will enjoy the ride. It's always fun to see everybody having a good time. Like I said, seeing it manifest itself for the first time last year was just really a blast, and the weather was perfect. So again, we're kind of crossing our fingers there, but really excited to see the expansion. And I love to see everybody having a good time.
The team got out to a quick start this year.
2-0.
And as we sit here, 2-0.
Yep.
I think by the time this airs, we'll have a third game in there.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see what, even though I think that they're going to win that game, I don't know. Right now, I could sound like an idiot or I could sound like a genius, right? and of course, for everybody, just a reminder for you, we've been putting it out. It's going to be every Thursday now. I finally have the schedule since we've done the studio move. Every Thursday afternoon, Coach Ram's show is going to come out on
Perfect.
the EP podcast, and you can see the video on our YouTube channel. So if you like to see the coach sitting there talking with me in studio, subscribe to the YouTube channel. But like, what is that? Like, we're laughing about how the Illini are often running as alums of that college. But how does that feel in the school when the football team gets off to a quick start?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. The energy is electric, and, we hope that they stay on a roll because homecoming week is a blast anyway. It's the highest that school spirit is all year long, right? But when the team is good and when we know that we're looking forward to a win and we're hoping they're going to beat Revis that night, it just makes it more fun for everybody.
Yeah, and your student body gets involved. Don't you guys have, if I'm not mistaken, you even have a program like incentivizes them to be involved, but I don't think you have to really incentivize them when your football team's good and you've got a fan fest like this happening.
Right. They do get points, incentive points for everything that they show up for that week. And we have events the whole week. We have window decorating and 5 hours worth of Olympics that they can participate in and hall decks. And we have a movie night on the field the night before after the JV game. So there's lots of events all week long for the kids to get involved in. Spirit days, we do a rock, paper, scissors competition all week long during school. So it's definitely the epitome of school spirit, but they'll be around points or not.
And you've been involved not only in the Fan Fest, but also, all the different musical performances that are over there and so many different things over at the school. You are essentially, at least in my mind, I might be crazy to say this, maybe I don't get exactly what you do over there, but you are, in my mind, like the queen of school spirit over at Evergreen Park. Like you probably have more activities, events, and things that are student participation that you're involved with than anybody else.
I do oversee activities, which means that I'm connected to anything that's not athletic. Mr. Solden takes care of all the athletics, but Queen of School Spirit, I don't know if that's a role. It's a set of shoes I really want to fill.
I'm gonna get you a robe and a staff and maybe a crown.
Don't know how I feel about that, but yes, I do. I am very passionate about making sure that the culture is positive at school and that we do have school spirit and that kids are connected somehow and that their best memories aren't just coming from that English class or that math class, that they're feeling connected to the community somehow.
How are kids these days with that stuff? Like, I always wonder, I remember with us, we didn't have as many distractions, right? Like, it was like, I'm in high school, so I was at the high school all the time. Because it wasn't like I could go home and play video games. If I wanted to see my friends, I had to actually go see them, stuff like that. But there's so many different distractions for them out there. Does it still feel like high school did for you and me when you're walking around, when you have these events and this fan fest and stuff like that? Is it still like a community with these high school kids?
Does it feel like it did when we were in school? Not at all.
Yeah.
Because times are totally different,
the 80s
right?
and the 90s were the coolest.
Times are totally different, but does it still feel like there's a school community? Absolutely. And do we still have kids getting involved? Yes. And we continue to preach that all the time. We're actually borrowing a slogan from a restaurant chain. We're hashtagging you pick two this year. We want them to pick 2 extracurricular activities of some kind, whether that's a sport in a club or whether they're a 2-sport athlete, whatever that looks like, just to make sure that they're connected to that school community all year long.
Did you get feedback later on when they graduate or from the seniors where they sit there and say, I'm glad you did it this way and I was involved? Sure,
we do. I mean, obviously it helps on college applications. It helps even on an employment application to show that you're connected to multiple organizations. It gives those kids contacts to be able to get a reference letter from or a reference contact. It also shows that they can manage their time and that they're well-rounded people.
All right, so homecoming weekend is going to be big over at Evergreen Park High School at 99th and Kazin, and the Fan Fest is going to be happening day of the actual game, right? The 26th?
On the 26th from 3 to 5:30. Admission is free. All the activities are free.
Food vendors obviously are going to cost a little bit if you want a snack, but we'll be all along James Sexton Drive and on the baseball field.
And then Revis comes to town and has to take on a crowd that's been partying all day long.
That's correct.
On homecoming and has to take on the Mustangs at 6 p.m. up there.
Yep.
That's going to be a fun night.
It will.
That's going to be a great night. Anything else coming up that you want to tell me about before we get out of here?
I think we're going to focus on homecoming for now.
Homecoming. Okay. It's on the 26th of September. It's less than 2 weeks away at this point. Like, get yourself ready for Fan Fest. It's going to be insane. They've got the food trucks and the giant inflatables. I mean, I'm trying to remember everything you said. There's so many of them. The inflatables, and you've got like the music out there and stuff to get ready for your school spirit. And there's things for all ages, the little kids all the way up to the adults. Doesn't matter if you got a kid in the school. Amy Kazin, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
It's the EP Podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.